After that shopping spree, it's time for another Arabic coffee. And let's make sure it's served in one of those proper cups.
Enjoy. Have a nice time.
Arabic coffee, the best way in the old city. One for me, and maybe one for you if you come. Let's get back to more serious business, exploring the traditions of the Via Dolorosa. So if you're looking for the Holy Grail, I think I found it. Ever since the Byzantine period, Christians have been making a pilgrimage along the Via Dolorosa. We arrived to the 6th station of the cross, where tradition holds that Veronica wiped the face of Jesus from blood and sweat. This is the 7th station where, according to tradition, Jesus fell for the 2nd time. Going from station to station, we arrive at the 8th station of the Via Dolorosa, where we are reminded of the great compassion Jesus had for women. For it is here that he consoled the women of Jerusalem. The Gospel of Luke records Jesus saying to the women who mourned him, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." Indeed, hard times befell Jerusalem, but now the time to favor her, the set time has come. So let's look up. The last 5 stations of the cross are located within the confines of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and its courtyards. These mark the final stages of Yeshua's passion, where he was crucified, entombed, and rose from the dead. The present Holy Sepulchre is a Crusader church standing on the foundations of 4 predecessors, the first of which dates to the 4th century when Queen Helena ordered raising a basilica. Nearby, she is said to have found wooden fragments supposedly of the cross, and this chapel marks that discovery. If all the presumed wooden fragments of the cross from medieval European cathedrals and churches had been joined, the result may have been a 20-meter tall cross.
Queen Helena was the mother of Constantine. When Constantine became a Christian, Christianity moved from being an illegal religion to being a legal religion. One of the things that Helena was most interested in doing was visiting the Holy Land and rediscovering the holy sites. And she traveled through the country and found where the traditions, the local traditions that the local Christians, the local believers had preserved about the events of Jesus' life. So Helena made it a point to find these spots, to commemorate them through the building of a large church, which we call a basilica, and to make focal points for pilgrimage.
As a Jew, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has always remained a bit of a mystery to me. But in actual fact, there are traditions here that would remind us of some traditions within inside of Judaism.
The fact is that the Catholic Church, the model for the church is basically the temple. The incense comes from the temple, and normally you will see on a Catholic altar 7 lamps. Or you will see 6 with a crucifix in the middle, which again reminds us of the menorah. So once again, you have something that is suggestive of something that came from the Jewish past.
The Church of the Holy Sepulchre includes Golgotha, the place of the skull in Aramaic, or Calvary, where the cross was raised on a rock shaped like a skull. Part of it can be seen under this plexiglass. 2,000 years ago, it formed part of a rock quarry.
Today, the Holy Sepulchre is inside the Old City, and we know that according to Jewish law, you couldn't execute or bury a person inside a city. But we do know that in the time of Jesus, the Old City walls followed a very different path than they do today, and that area was outside the city, and it wasn't built over, it was just a quarry.
An interesting Byzantine tradition says that Adam was buried in a cave beneath the site of Golgotha. Accordingly, blood from the cross dripped into the lower chamber, emphasizing redemption. For as in Adam all die, even so in Messiah all shall be made alive. However, according to Jewish tradition, Adam was buried by his son Seth in the cave of the patriarchs at Hebron. Perhaps each tradition has something to tell us, even when they contradict each other.
The status quo defines everything in Jerusalem. And as a result, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre really is home to Roman Catholics, Greek Orthodox, Armenians, Copts, and Ethiopian Christians. All of these different groups who have specific chapels or large church facilities within it and who are responsible for various items. When we as Westerners walk in there, we're sort of hit by the chaos, the noise, the confusion, the smells, the lights, the action. But one of the ways that's helpful to look at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is to see it sort of as a tapestry. It is a tapestry of church history. It's woven from many threads. We think about what happened there. The forces of darkness tried to extinguish the light of the world. And when Jesus died and the light of the world was snuffed out for a moment, there was darkness. And then he rose again, and the light of his resurrection sent sparks to all the corners of the earth, lighting fires in people's hearts of the knowledge that God has revealed himself and loves them individually. This provokes people to want to come back and to somehow touch the stone or leave their mark. And throughout the centuries of church history, that is what the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has come to be. It's a place where people touched by the good news of Jesus have come and left their mark. So it may look like chaos to us, but in reality, it's a very beautifully woven testimony to the power of the gospel in many languages and many places throughout many ages.
On Roots and Reflections, we have visited 3 possible sites of the death, burial, and resurrection of Yeshua: the Mount of Olives, the Garden Tomb, and the Holy Sepulchre. Arguments can be made for and against each, but what counts is that the grave is empty. Yeshua rose victorious over sin and death. Thank you for being with us in Roots and Reflections, our program from Israel, bringing you insights to the land of the Bible, its history, natural beauty, people, food, tourism, and much more. Your donations to help produce Roots and Reflections are much appreciated.